6 o'clock.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It is 6 o'clock, and I did not use the gavel because we do not have a quorum. I'm going to ask the clerk, city clerk, did you receive calls from the missing aldermen?
I did. I've heard from Alderman Royal and Alderman Best. They will not be in attendance.
Okay.
And Alderman Frill advised a couple of weeks ago he would be out of town and will not be here.
Okay. So with that being said, unfortunately, the city cannot conduct any business tonight. There are quite a few things on the agenda that I just want to highlight. First of all, is petition of citizens. I'm sure some of you were probably here to speak about that tonight. Unfortunately, we can't conduct that aspect of it. If you would like to come forward and speak, you can do so, but it's not an official meeting. It will not be recorded in the minutes. And if you do want to do that, I would encourage you to come back to the next meeting when hopefully the rest of the members of the board find it important enough to come conduct the business of the city. So we can do that if you would like. And I'm going to make some comments, and I'm going to be careful but professional in what I attempt to say, and this regarding item number 12 on the agenda, which is the appointment for the Ward 6 Alderman. That has caused, apparently, for whatever reason, quite a bit of controversy throughout some parts of our community. There have been a few information requests that have been relayed to our staff from some folks in the media. What's interesting, though, I haven't seen an article that's actually been published after folks have had the opportunity to review those emails. So I took it upon myself last night to review those information requests and saw quite a few interesting emails about how this process has transpired. And I'm not going to say there's a conspiracy, but I will say that there was some communication between half the members of the board in how they wanted to approach the appointment of the vacant Ward 6 Alderman seat. I personally have heard from a lot of constituents in Ward 6. I see some that are here tonight that would like to express their interest in who they want to have represent them. But as I said earlier, unfortunately, we don't have a quorum of the board because we have 3 members that chose not to come tonight for whatever reason that may be. So at this point, if anybody, it's kind of a free-for-all. I will tell you the meeting is being live streamed, so you will be on TV. But if anybody would like to come forward and state anything you'd like to, the floor is yours. No time.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
How you doing,
Alderman. I'm Jerry Schill. I live on Oxford Lane in Kings Row, which is part of the 6th Ward. I sent all the aldermen what I think about this seat. Felt a little bit paranoid this morning. I was at Bojangles, waiting in a long line at Bojangles. It was quite slow, and I saw somebody that looked a lot like Johnny Ray approaching, and he looked up. I thought he looked at me, and then he left. So I was feeling a little bit paranoid. So were you at Bojangles this morning?
That is correct.
Okay. So I have reason to feel paranoid, but I guess it was the long line. It was long. Anyway, I'll try to get back, but my wife is not well, so I have to get a caregiver. Normally, we would both be at a meeting like this and make it a date night, believe it or not, but we're easily entertained. Now that you have the elevator, she has problems motivating, so no way she could have come up those stairs, but she's not well. I believe, we keep hearing, because of the politics of this cycle, democracy. We actually have a republic, which means representative government. We elect people, such as the Board of Aldermen, to represent us. In our case, normally in an election, it would be the citizens or the voters of the 6th Ward that would make that decision. We would make that decision of who's going to elect us, or represent us. But because of the vacancy, of course, that falls to y'all. And I just personally think that you should give deference to who we want. And I just can speak for my wife and myself, and and we believe Dana outlaws the man. Now, the reason for that wasn't taken lightly. I've known Dana a long time. I've never met Mr. Trevor. I've never met Trevor. I know what he does. But I called Dana a couple times. He responded to my calls both times very quickly. That's just the way Dana does business. I had some concerns that I talked to him about, and he addressed those. I sent an email to Trevor. He did not reply to it. So I called his cell phone. I left him a voicemail. I did not get a reply. If representative government is to work, those who represent us need to be responsive. The old saying, you can't take the heat, you get out of the kitchen. Well, that's true. And I just think it's more evident. I was leaning toward Dana anyway, mainly because I know him well. But with the lack of response from Trevor, to me it's a no-brainer. But I would hope, based on what you said, Mr. Mayor, at the outset, that these vacant chairs aren't due to some sort of a ploy. I hope not. But when you advertise to the general public that you're going to have a hearing on a particular issue, and you have, in my case, I was fortunate to get my daughter to stay with my wife. Normally, I've got to pay somebody to stay with my wife. And I got to tell you, if I had to pay somebody to come here and hear that you don't have a quorum, that's just not right. I hope that there's really good reasons for those folks not to be here. I really hope so. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Diana Whitmire, 225 Bandon Drive in New Bern. First of all, I've called all the alder people, and thank you to Brenda. Brenda was a terrific help. Some responded, some didn't. I think I called each 2 or 3 times, depending on the process. Many, as I say, didn't even bother. Some were very helpful. I did receive a call back from one of the aldermen. Didn't say like the other ones did, gee, it's nice you're standing up, giving us your information. This alderman just proceeded to raise his voice and tell me I needed to respect his opinion and his reasons were personal. I don't have to respect an opinion. I can agree or I can disagree. And if you're going to represent me in Ward 6, I guess it would be nice to know why you're picking who you are. So again, not everybody returned the call. That kind of bothered me a little. Trevor did reach out to me, Dana not. So we're in different situations, this gentleman and myself. I'm for Trevor, somebody else isn't, but I don't expect to be called back and voices raised and not want to hear me. Just the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else like to speak?
Hello, I'm Greg Fay, 1307 Benfield Avenue. I'll come back if needed, but the reason I come forward is this is on the Hurricane Helene relief effort, and I had some questions to ask the city. The 3 questions, one being in what ways the city of New Bern is assisting in the relief effort. I know y'all are doing a lot, but just to get the word out.
Sure.
What ways the citizens of New Bern can respond, and can we set up a citywide unified long-term relief effort of financial aid and needed supplies so we can continue to help the western part of our state through all this.
Sure. Mr. Manager, could you maybe share with the public some of the things that the city's been participating in?
Yes, sir. So when the hurricane was actually going through the western part of the state, we actually started talking with staff to talk about what kind of drive can we do. And so the goal was to start that on the Monday after that event. that did start. And just so everyone knows, we are collecting a variety of goods through the 11th of October. Then we're going to be sending a truck up to I think Haywood County at some point next week. So we're excited about that, and we're really pleased at the amount of citizens who have donated a variety of goods. We have several drop-off points. When we had National Night Out, that was a drop-off point. City Hall is a drop-off point. West New Bern Recreation Center, Pleasant Hill Community Center, and the Farmers Market. So all of those sites have been quite busy. I believe as of earlier today, we had 19 pallets of goods that have been pre-wrapped and are ready to be put on a truck to go. And we'll continue to do things like that as long as there's a need. We also did send 2 fire rescue crews. They were dispatched as part of Task Force 10 for search and recovery. And we had several as part of NC Heart, which is Helicopter and Aquatic Recovery Team. And so those folks have been very, very busy in those efforts. We also sent an electric utility crew to assist in utility repairs. They're still in search and recovery up there, and it took us quite a while to figure out where we were going to send these goods. I'll give Colleen credit. She has been the person that's coordinated the drives and has been reaching out to folks in the mountains, and getting information on what we could do and how we could help has been very difficult. We were able to send our fire rescue and our utility crews through previously existing mutual aid agreements. But what we have heard time and time again is, if you don't have a plan for helping us out and you have worked something out already, don't come, because you'll be in the way. And we hear that consistently. So we'll continue on the mutual aid as long as we can and as long as they're needed. We're currently assessing some equipment needs, if we can help them with that now. And we encourage you to, if there are groups like we've talked with through the United Ways, we've talked with Chambers of Commerce through the mountains, and they have several areas in the mountains have contact information. You can look at them online, and they can tell you if they need volunteers to help out and things like that. So we're happy to do anything we can. It wasn't that long ago when we went through Hurricane Florence, and the United States came to New Bern and helped us out greatly. And I've talked about Florence a lot lately, and that was really nothing compared to what Western North Carolina is going through. So we certainly feel for them and want to help out in any way we can.
Okay. Thank you. Does that help answer some of your questions, sir?
Yes.
All right, very good. Anyone else?
Good evening.
Evening.
Robert Johnson, 16 Garden Street, and citizen of the great historic New Bern, and I certainly love this historic city since I spent most of my life here in New Bern, 44 years, and I have walked the community and encountered with the leaders of the community, and it truly saddened my heart to know that at this meeting that we certainly doesn't have a quorum to carry on the business of the city, and we as citizens elect our representative to represent the citizen, to be the voice for the citizen, to do what is good and right for the citizen. That's why soon, we have representatives that sit in position seats where you are to do, and it just to see the other three not here, I just feel that this is not what it's not good for us as a city, and I'm a pastor, and the Lord has to me, and I talks to him. And I don't say or do anything that's without his okay. And I prayed about this particular meeting before coming, because I wanted it to be what the Lord would have it to be. And so whatever personal grievances that might be going on on this board between whoever is, we need to put that aside and do what is good and right to bring about unity, in our, city, so we can move on. I feel that the business of this city cannot go on without the six of the other three. So I just hope that whatever it is that has caused them not to be here, that they will know that they was put here to represent, be the voice of us, and we as citizens deserve them to work together and to do what is necessary to move our city forward.
Thank you, Rev. Anyone else? I will also say, if you want to take a peek at the agenda, there were several items on here that were time sensitive. Mr. Bouchard was going to make a presentation on a power supply cost increase that's going to affect all of our electrical customers. We've been given an increase from electricities. The plan was to look at the information tonight, call for a public hearing so we could make a decision at our next meeting. Mr. Bouchard, it looks like, when will that increase from electricities start hitting us?
It already has.
Okay, so we've already started increased cost that we don't have the funds to pay for. So therefore, now we're going to have to delay this decision at least 2 weeks to call for a public hearing and actually take this topic up. So I just wanted to point that out. There are some, it looks like a rezoning. We were calling for a public hearing on a rezoning. There were some upset bid processes to get started, some street closures, just a variety of things. And I certainly am very disappointed in the three members that chose to have better things to do this evening and come conduct the business of the city. So at this point, we'll consider ourselves adjourned. Thank you.
Mayor,
Hold on a minute.
Yes.
could we take a roll call, please?
A roll call vote of who's not here? Sure.
Alderman Creel, Alderman Royal, Alderman Astor,
Here.
Mayor Odham,
Here.
Alderman Kinsey,
Here.
Alderman Best. Thank you.
Apologize to the public and staff who took your time out to come tonight for a waste. Thank you.